So hey folks, and good morning, and welcome to another video. And today's video we're going to be doing an oil change and filter change on the MT10SP, and we're also going to be adjusting the slack on the chain, giving the chain a clean and a lubrication, and we're going to be using a special tool to do the chain adjustment today that I wanted to show you. So stick around, stay tuned, and let's get into it. Okay, so tools and things that we need for the oil change. We've got some Castrol Power Racing 10W40, fully synthetic. We've got a oil filter, a COF 104 or F3L8 from Champion. These were bought from Halfords and work out quite reasonable. Need some cloths, need a 32mm socket for the rear wheel to adjust the chain, 12mm spanner, and also the sump plug. I'm using a HW6 Allen key socket, and here's the chain monkey chain adjuster that I use, and I'm going to be showing you a little later on how to use this device. Really easy. Make sure you got the right chain adjustment. Handy tool to have. And also the banana slip chain lube that I use all the time. I'll show you that shortly. So underneath the engine just here, you can probably see we've got the oil filter here, which is really easy to get at. Although when you do undo the oil filter, you do get some oil dripping down onto the exhaust. So I normally put a piece of cardboard or something on there, and then put a tray underneath, which I'll show you just now. And then the sump plug is right underneath, in between the exhausts. So if there's one thing that I do is put some rubber gloves on to protect my hands from the oil, make sure I'm not getting all dirty. And what I'm going to do first is, I don't know if you can see here, I've got my drain tray ready underneath, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the filler cap off the other side so that there's air getting into the engine, so that it can drain. But before I do any of all this, what I need to do is warm that oil up in the engine so that it actually comes out a lot cleaner and free running. Okay, so first we're going to take off the oil filler cap to allow the air to flow through. And then what we're going to do is take the sump plug out first. Make sure we turn it the right way. And make sure you don't drop the sump plug in the oil pan. And then all I'm going to do with the sump plug is just give it a wipe over and a clean, and I'm going to reuse this one. The washer seems to be okay on this one as well, so I'm going to not replace the washer. Maybe on the next oil service I will. So I'll put that to one side. Now you can see the sight glass is just here. What I'm going to do is leave that now for about 10 minutes just for all the oil to drain out of the bike. But also I'm gonna take out oil filter, just give it a wipe. I don't know if you can see, I've actually got it on front wheel stands and rear wheel stands to keep the bike pretty much level like it is on the ground, and just lift the bike up a little bit so that I can get into get hold of everything. Now, little tip, so oil filters, so I use Champion currently, get these from Halfords, does the job. I've used K&N in the past, and they have a like a socket on the end. I tend to find that people tend to over tighten these, so hand tight, really tight with hands is the best option, and then you can get it off with the hands as well a little later. So what I haven't done is put the cardboard over the exhaust, so I've got some oil all over my exhaust now, which will smell nice when it burns off. As you can see just there. So normally I would cover that up, stop the oil getting into or on my exhaust pipe. So I'm going to let all that drain for a little minute, 5-10 minutes, make sure it gets all the way out, and then I'll prepare the new oil filter, clean this up around where the oil filter goes, and then pop the new oil filter back on, drain plug in, and then we'll put 4.1 litres of oil. If you're not changing your oil filter, you only need to put about 4 litres in, but with the oil filter it's 4.1 litres. A little bit windy today.
A few minutes later.
And then we're going to put our drain plug back in. I'm going to do that hand tight and then just nip it up. Okay, so oil filter. Take the plastic protection off. Now what I do like to do is just give a little wipe of oil around the top, just there, and then I'm going to screw that back on, and we're just going to do it up hand tight. So I'm going to take my gloves off so I can get that nice and tight by my hands. And that's pretty much all you need. If you over tighten these, you can crimp the O-ring, and then it's going to leak more. So what I'm going to do now is just wipe the excess oil off the exhaust pipes. I will start it up and burn that excess off. And then just nip it up. Doesn't need to be over tight. Like so. And then once you run it, I would recommend, once you've dried off the sump plug, just have a look underneath there, make sure nothing's leaking. Okay, so another thing you're going to need is a decent funnel to put the oil back into the bike. So we'll use this one. And as you can see, it goes in slightly at an angle. We'll hold it in place so that we get all the oil in there and in the top. And decant it all into the engine. So we've got 4 litres of Castrol Power One Racing, fully synthetic, and we need about a 0.1 of a litre for the oil filter. So I'll put all of this in, start it up, and then I'll check my levels on the sight glass on the other side. So we'll just start her up and let the oil circulate. So we've done our checks, there's no leak in oil, we've run it, and our sight glass, as you can see just here, still says empty. So I need to put some more oil in. Just to also mention, your old oil filters and old oil, if you take it to your local tip and dispose of it properly. So let's put some more oil in. And the reason why I ran it for a little bit was to make sure the oil filter gets full of oil. So I'll just put the rest of this in now. So I'll just check the sight glass and see what it's at. So not too bad, as you can see there, it's just over half. So that's 4 litres in, and I'm just going to put a drop just to take it up a touch. So it's 4.1 litres.
A few minutes later.
So we're just at full on the sight glass just here, and that'll do us. So next, the chain. Actually, it's just started raining, so I'm going to leave the chain for another day where I use the chain monkey to adjust it. I did do it recently, so it's probably about correct and all lubed up just now. So we'll leave this video with just the oil change, and then we'll come back and do the chain adjustment in a couple of days, and I'll show you that. So MT10SP, oil all changed. Okay, thanks for watching.